The media cried unnecessary roughness when President Trump disinvited the Philadelphia Eagles from a White House celebration. This after almost all the players on the Super Bowl champs decided against attending the meeting. Many pundits throwing the penalty flag because of this Trumpian tweet. Unfortunately, only a small number of players decided to come, and we canceled the event. Staying in the locker room for the playing of our national anthem is as disrespectful to our country as kneeling. Sorry. And media figures from Philly were quick to react.
That was the Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who stayed in the locker room during the anthem, Mr. President. It was not the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, the suggestion that it was the Eagles who did that. False. Deceptive. A lie.
I'm a Philly guy. I'm going to have to side with Trump, though. It's like the Eagles try to trick play. Trump sniffed it out and shut it down.
Emily Jashinsky, President taking enormous heat from the media over this move, canceling the Eagles' visit. But did the press downplay the fact that all but a few, perhaps only one, of the Eagles players had agreed to come to what's normally a sort of a nonpartisan, sports event at the White House?
So I think that's the key, and I actually think the media sort of latched on to this narrative, which is easy and I think to some extent true, that Trump saw this as an opportunity to sort of gin up a culture war. Like the more the press is covering national anthem controversy, the more the press is defending anthem kneelers, the more people are favorable to Donald Trump. So but I also think really what you're saying is that what you just said, there's a lot of Eagles players that seem to have backed out of the agreement, and it was kind of a logistical problem and a PR problem for the White House that they were sort of trying to put on a quick Band-Aid over. So I think there was maybe a narrative that was overly simplistic.
But what really fueled the media criticism, Philippe, is that the tweet about not staying in the locker room during the anthem because no Eagles player took a knee during the anthem in this past season. The president does like this culture war against the NFL that he started to some good political effect, I would say, last year.
To tremendous political effect. And I think that's an important point because the president is looking for every opportunity he can to fight that culture war. And first it was during the regular season. Now it's every time someone comes. Like you said, the Eagles, not a single player took a knee during the regular season except to pray, which Euro Network had to.
We will get to that in just a moment.
But it's, it's unfortunate. Sports should be the last vestige where even people don't agree. Like Emily and I should be able to sit and watch a game and not kill each other. And now, if we watch a game, we'd be talking about kneeling.
It seems to me the press goes crazy over this sort of thing, Emily, because the press also likes the culture war. It is fun, it's sports, it's like a lot easier than, combing through healthcare policy.
Right, yeah, and Trump knows that, and I think that's why, again, it's just like we were just talking about, how it was kind of overly simplistic. Like, I actually don't think this was a big culture war strategy on the White House's part. I think they were going to be kind of embarrassed if only Eagles players showed up, and they had to come up with sort of a creative, innovative way to slap a Band-Aid on it, make it look like, this was somehow different than what it was. And so I think that was really more what was going on, and yet what we heard was different than that.
So I think most pundits said the president was being divisive here, and to some extent that's true. But aren't they underplaying the role of the Eagles, who maybe the players don't like this president, but couldn't they have showed up at the White House out of respect for the office and the tradition of a winning sports team going there?
Well, no. I mean, first of all,
you
had a Fox Sports. I mean, Terry Bradshaw, I think today said that he believed the Eagles did the right thing, and you had Eagles players saying, "Look, if I know someone who is sexist or misogynistic, I'm not going to go to their party," and that's how they see it. I think at this point, though, this is not just the Eagles. This is about to happen with the Warriors. It happened last year with the Warriors. It's about to happen with the Washington Capitals. Just stop with these events. Let's just stop making them. They've become political. Forget about who to blame for it. Let's just stop with the,
Well, somebody joked that the president should invite the horse Justify, who just won the Triple Crown, would probably show up for the event. But, since Philippe brings up the NBA, just briefly, Emily, before the championship ended between LeBron James's Cleveland Cavaliers and Steph Curry's Golden State Warriors, both LeBron and Steph said, we're not going to the White House if our team wins. Now it's moot because the Cavaliers were never going to win. But so there probably won't be an invitation to the Warriors. Is it on some level, I mean, I know it's a great media issue, but isn't it a shame? Because sports, of course, it does get infected by politics. But
now Howie's taking gratuitous shots at teams.
Well, one sports shot. Quick reaction, Emily.
Yeah, well, I think you're getting at, there is sympathy among the press for one side of this debate, and I think it shows up every time. And I think what we don't talk enough about is what effect this is going to have on the post-Trump presidency. Or is the White House forever, going to be damaged because all of these traditions, these sports traditions, were overlooked in the Trump era?
Right.
And that's a serious question.
Okay.
And
on that note, Emily Jashinsky, Philippe Reines, thanks very much for joining us. Now, we should note that Fox News at Night, in covering this controversy, did show some unrelated footage that left the wrong impression. I want to play for you Shannon Bream's apology.
During our report about the president canceling the Philadelphia Eagles trip to the White House to celebrate their Super Bowl win, we showed unrelated footage of players kneeling in prayer. To clarify, no members of the team knelt in protest during the national anthem throughout regular or postseason last year. We sincerely apologize for the error.
And that's the way a mistake should be handled.